Hello, my fierce Scorpio friends. I'm Sophia, your starry-eyed companion from Zodiac Wisdom, and today, I'm reaching across the miles, whether you're sipping espresso in a bustling Paris cafe or watching the leaves fall from a porch swing in Ohio, to wrap you in a cosmic embrace. If you're between 50 and 70, this isn't just another article. It's a heartbeat, a whisper, a rallying cry for you. Picture this: the sun dips low, painting the sky in hues of amber and violet. And there you stand, a Scorpio, a soul forged in fire and mystery, carrying a lifetime of triumphs and scars. You're not just here to read, you're here to feel, to awaken, to claim a secret that's been simmering beneath the surface, waiting for this very moment. Let's paint the scene together. Maybe you're in London, the fog curling around your boots as you mull over a pension that feels too thin, wondering if those dreams of a cozy cottage in the countryside are slipping away. Or perhaps you're in California, the ocean breeze tugging at your hair. But inside, there's a storm, kids who don't call as often, a partner who feels more like a roommate, or a bank account that's whispering doubts louder than you'd like. I see you, Scorpio. I feel the weight you carry, the quiet strength you've built over decades, the way you've stared down life's chaos and said, "Not today." You're not just a survivor, you're a warrior, ruled by Pluto's transformative blaze and Mars' unyielding courage. And right now, between 50 and 70, that power isn't fading, it's roaring to life in ways you might not even realize. This isn't about airy promises or cosmic fluff. No, this is about you, the real you, the one who's faced heartbreak and laughed in its face, who's built a life brick by gritty brick. I'm here to hand you a secret, one that's been tucked in the shadows of your Scorpio soul, ready to burst forth like a phoenix shaking off the ashes. It's about comfort when the nights stretch long and lonely, courage when the days dare you to give up, and solutions when the world feels like it's pressing down too hard. Whether you're in Amsterdam pondering your next move or Texas wrestling with what retirement even means, this is your moment. So, grab that steaming mug of tea, or, let's be honest, that glass of red you've been eyeing, and settle in. Tell me, Scorpio, what's one thing tugging at your heart right now? Hold it close, because we're about to unravel it together. This journey? It's yours, and I'm right here, cheering you on with every beat of my starry heart. Hello again, my Scorpio kindred. It's Sophia from Zodiac Wisdom, and if you're still with me after that fiery intro, I'm thrilled, because now, we're diving deep. This is where we peel back the layers, where we unearth the raw, pulsating core of who you are at 50 to 70. Imagine us sitting together, maybe by a crackling fireplace in Edinburgh or under a wide, star-strewn sky in Colorado, two Scorpios swapping stories, sipping something warm, and laughing at how life's twists have only made us stronger. You're not just a zodiac sign, my friend, you're a force, an enigma wrapped in resilience. And this chapter of your life? It's where your true power shines brightest. Let's unpack it together. The heart of a Scorpio. First, let's talk about you, the real you. Scorpio, you're a walking paradox, fierce yet tender, quiet yet commanding, patient yet ready to strike when the moment's right. You're ruled by Pluto, the planet that doesn't just change things, it transforms them, tearing down the old to birth something new. And Mars? That's your warrior spirit, the fire in your belly that's carried you through every storm. At 50 to 70, these aren't just traits, they're your legacy, etched into every line on your face, every memory in your heart. Think of yourself as a river cutting through stone, steady, unstoppable, and only growing deeper with time. Does that sound like you? I bet it does. I've met Scorpios like you all over. Hannah in Stockholm, who at 55 turned her knack for knitting into a quiet rebellion against loneliness. Or Miguel in Toronto, who at 68 still walks with the swagger of a man who knows he's beaten the odds. You don't fade, Scorpio, you intensify. That intensity isn't loud, it's a smoldering coal, a glow that warms you when the world feels cold. So, tell me, what's one moment in your life where you felt that fire flare up? Hold on to it, that's the heartbeat of this story. Life at this stage. Now, let's get honest, because you wouldn't have it any other way. Life at 50 to 70 isn't all sunsets and serenity. Is it? Maybe you're retired, or retirement's peeking over the horizon like a guest you're not sure you invited. The kids might be off building their own lives, leaving your house too quiet, or maybe they're back, stretching your patience and your pantry. Relationships? They shift like sand underfoot. I can almost hear you chuckling. Did your partner always snore that loud? Or is it just now grating on your nerves? And finances, oh, Scorpio, I know that sting. Pensions that don't stretch as far as they should. Savings you've guarded like a dragon's hoard. That dream of a little villa in Tuscany or a cabin in the Smokies slipping through your fingers. These aren't small worries, they're the threads of your tapestry. Frayed but still yours to mend. I see you standing there. Maybe in a Brussels rain or a Boston drizzle. Hands in your pockets, wondering if this is it, if the best is behind you. But here's the twist, it's not. You're not done, Scorpio. You're just beginning to see what you're made of. Those challenges? They're not weights, they're fuel. You've faced worse and come out sharper. Haven't you? Think back, tell me about a time you thought you'd break. But didn't. That's your Scorpio soul in action. Your power in action. Let me paint you a picture. Meet Clara, a Scorpio I crossed paths with in Chicago. At 62, she'd just hung up her teacher's hat after 30 years. Her husband had passed, her pension was a trickle, and the silence in her little apartment was deafening. But Clara? She's a Scorpio through and through. She didn't wallow, she moved. She tapped into that legendary determination, started tutoring online, and turned her love of Shakespeare into a lifeline. Within a year, she'd saved enough to book a trip to Florence, stood in front of the Duomo with tears in her eyes, whispering, I did this. That's not just a story, it's a mirror. What's your Florence, Scorpio? What's that dream you've tucked away, waiting for the right moment? Spoiler, the moment's now. Or take Paul, 57, from Manchester, laid off from his factory job. He felt the ground shift. But Scorpios don't crumble, they adapt. He took his knack for fixing things and started a handyman gig. Word spreading like wildfire. Last I heard, he's got a waiting list and a grin that says, told you so. That's you, too, grit and grace in equal measure. What's one skill you've got that the world's sleeping on? Let's wake it up. Why this matters now. Here's the kicker, at 50 to 70. The world might nudge you toward the sidelines, whispering, slow down, take it easy, but your Scorpio soul? It's pacing like a caged panther, ready to leap. Your patience can steady you through the lean days. Your adaptability can turn a setback into a setup. And your intensity, oh, that's the spark that lights up dreams you've buried under, maybe someday. Some days today, Scorpio, you're not winding down, you're winding up. So, let's get personal. What's one challenge staring you down right now? Finances? Family? That ache for something more? Lay it out in the comments if you dare, I'm here. And we're cracking it open together. This is your soul unleashed. Scorpio, not a relic, not a shadow, but a living, breathing force. You've got decades of wisdom, a heart that's weathered storms, and a spirit that refuses to bow. This isn't the end of your story, it's the climax. So, what's next? Let's find out. Practical magic, solutions for life and money. Welcome back, my Scorpio warriors. It's Sophia from Zodiac Wisdom, and if you've made it this far, you're already feeling that flicker in your chest, the one that says, I'm not done yet. We've peeled back the layers of your soul in part 1. And now, we're rolling up our sleeves. Picture us sitting across from each other, maybe over a steaming pot of tea in a cozy Dublin flat or a strong coffee on a New Orleans balcony. Two Scorpios plotting a comeback that'll make the stars themselves sit up and take notice. This isn't about wishful thinking, it's about doing. About channeling that raw Scorpio magic into solutions that stick. You're between 50 and 70. Facing real-life grit, finances, relationships, that quiet ache for peace, and I'm here to hand you the tools. Let's weave some practical magic together. Harnessing your Scorpio strengths. You've got a toolbox, Scorpio, and it's packed with treasures sharper than any blade. Your decisiveness cuts through excuses like a hot knife through butter. Your patience? It's the steady hand that turns chaos into order. And your adaptability, well, that's the secret sauce that's kept you standing when others would have buckled. At 50 to 70, these aren't just quirks, they're your lifelines. Let's put them to work. Finances, the decisive edge. Money's a beast, isn't it? Maybe you're in Munich, eyeing a retirement fund that's more modest than you'd hoped. Or in Seattle, wondering if that nest egg will ever hatch into the freedom you crave. You don't mess around, Scorpio, you decide, and you act. Grab a notebook, or that tablet you've mastered better than your kids think, and sit down with your numbers. Income, expenses, those sneaky subscriptions you forgot about, lay it all out. Where can you trim? A coffee shop habit swapped for a home brew could save you €50 a month. Where can you grow? That attic full of stuff, old records, vintage coats, could be cash on eBay. I met John, a 58-year-old Scorpio in Portland, who turned his dusty vinyl into $2. He's sipping coffee in Lisbon now. Thanks to that hustle. What's your hidden gold mine? Don't stop there. Been eyeing a stock or a side gig? Research it, your intensity loves a deep dive. Call a financial advisor, lots of banks offer free chats. Or dip into online forums where retirees swap tips. You're not reckless, Scorpio, you're calculated. What's one money move you've been mulling over? Tell me below, I'll cheer you on as you strike. Relationships. Patience as your glue. You feel everything, don't you? That's your Scorpio heart, deep as the ocean. Fierce as a tide. Maybe your spouse's little quirks, those socks on the floor, are testing you. Or a friend's drifted into silence. Don't snap, connect. Your patience is gold here. Plan a night, a quiet dinner, a walk through Amsterdam's canals or Chicago's parks, and ask something simple. What's one thing we've never talked about? Listen, really listen. Your depth pulls people in like gravity. I knew a Scorpio, Elise, 65, in Brussels, who'd barely spoken to her daughter in years. She started with coffee dates, awkward at first. Then warm. Now they're planning a trip to Bruges. Small steps. Scorpio, what's one bond you'd love to mend? Start today, I've got your back. And if it's solitude you're wrestling with, lean into it. Join a club, gardening, books, whatever lights you up. Your presence draws souls like moths to a flame. Who's one person you miss? Reach out. You'll be surprised how fast they answer. Self-care, the Scorpio sanctuary. You give so much, too much. Sometimes, when was the last time you gave to you? At 50 to 70, your intensity needs a breather. Carve out 15 minutes a day, walk through a London park. Crank up some jazz in your Atlanta kitchen. Or try that meditation app your niece won't shut up about. I'll confess, I scoffed at mindfulness, till I tried it. 5 minutes of breathing, and I felt like I'd shed a decade's weight. You're a storm, Scorpio, but even storms need calm. What soothes you? A hot bath? A good book? Drop it in the comments, I'm dying to know. Real life wins. Let's talk heroes, Scorpios like you who've turned the tide. Anna, 67, from Lisbon, is my favorite. Post-divorce, she was staring at a thin savings account and an empty house. Loneliness crept in like fog. But Anna's a Scorpio, she adapts. She joined a gardening club, met a crew who became her family, and started selling herbs at the market. Last I heard, she's got a stall buzzing with customers and a ticket to Greece in her pocket. That's not luck, that's you in action, grit, guts, and a little green thumb. What's your herb, Scorpio? What's that passion you could turn into a win? Then there's Tom, 54. From Dublin, redundancy hit hard, factory closed. Confidence cracked. But Scorpios don't sulk, they strike. He took his knack for tinkering, fixed a neighbor's sink, and word spread. Now he's got a roster of clients and a smirk that says, "Told you I'd bounce back." You've got that in you. 2. What's one skill you've got that's ready to shine? Let's dust it off. Support is your ally. You're a lone wolf sometimes, Scorpio, but even wolves run in packs. You don't have to do this alone. Chat with a financial planner, those free sessions at your bank are gold. Join a group, church, a hobby circle, even an online forum where folks like you swap stories. I stumbled into a retirees chat once. And the wisdom there? Pure Scorpio fire. Anna found her tribe in that gardening club. Tom's clients became his cheerleaders. Where could you use a hand? A friend to brainstorm with? A pro to crunch numbers? Reach out, I'll bet someone's waiting to say, "I've got you." And don't sleep on the little wins. Start a jar, toss in a coin or a note every time you save a bit or solve a snag. Watch it grow. It's not just money, it's proof you're moving. What's one tiny step you could take today? Tell me, I'm rooting for you. Pulling it all together. This is your practical magic. Scorpio. Decisiveness turns financial fog into a plan. Patience rebuilds bridges you thought were ash. Adaptability spins setbacks into setups. You're not just surviving these years, you're claiming them. Picture yourself a year from now, stronger, steadier, maybe sipping wine in that dream spot you've always wanted to visit. That's not a fantasy, it's a blueprint. So, let's get personal. What's one thing, money, love, peace, you want to tackle next? Lay it out below, I'm here. And we're solving it step by step. You've got this. Scorpio. The world might see 50 to 70 as a slowdown. But you're rewriting the script. This is your stage, your spotlight, your magic. Let's make it count. Rise and inspire, your Scorpio legacy. Hey there, my Scorpio soulmates. It's Sophia from Zodiac Wisdom, and we're at the final stretch of this wild, starry ride, but don't think for a second this is the end. Oh no, this is where you step into the spotlight, where the embers we've stoked in your heart burst into a blaze. Imagine us huddled together, maybe under a crisp Berlin night sky or on a porch swing in Georgia. The air thick with possibility. We've uncovered your soul, armed you with practical magic. And now, we're talking legacy. At 50 to 70, you're not just living, you're leaving a mark. A ripple that'll echo across time and borders. This is about rising up, inspiring others, and claiming the Scorpio crown you've earned. Let's light it up together. You're not alone. First, take a deep breath and feel this. You're part of something bigger. Every Scorpio reading this, whether you're in Madrid nursing a coffee or Vancouver watching the rain, you're linked by that same unbreakable thread. We're a constellation of warriors, stitched together by resilience, by the way we've stared down life's shadows and said, "Try me, I see you out there." Maria in Lisbon, tending her garden with hands that have known loss. Paul in Manchester, fixing pipes and pride with equal grit. Clara in Chicago, teaching sonnets and rewriting her story. You're not alone in this. Scorpio, your struggles, those late-night worries about money, those quiet aches for connection, they're ours, too. And your wins? They lift us all. I want you to picture it, a web of Scorpios, 50 to 70. Stretching from Paris to Portland, sharing a knowing nod across the miles. You've got a tribe, even if you don't see them yet. So, tell me, what's one battle you're fighting right now? Drop it in the comments. Let's hold it up together. Because when one Scorpio rises, we all do. You're not just a name on a screen, you're a spark in this cosmic fire. Feel that, Scorpio, feel us. Take the leap. Here's where the rubber hits the road, or, as my Amsterdam friends might say, where the bike hits the canal path. You've got the tools from part 2, decisiveness, patience, adaptability, and now it's time to move. Start today. Pick one thing from this journey. Maybe it's that budget tweak, skipping the takeaway for a home-cooked meal and pocketing the difference. Maybe it's a phone call, dialing that friend you've missed, hearing their voice crack with surprise and warmth. Or maybe it's a moment for you, 15 minutes with a book or a walk. Letting the world fade as your soul breathes. Your Scorpio heart thrives on action, not just dreams. What's that first step whispering to you? Don't overthink it, leap. I'll let you in on a little story. Last year, I met Lena, a 63-year-old Scorpio in Copenhagen. She'd read my words, felt that nudge, and decided, enough's enough. Her savings were tight, her days lonely, so she took a leap, joined a pottery class, burned her first bowl, laughed it off, kept going. Now, she's got a shelf of wonky mugs, a circle of friends who adore her, and a quiet pride that lights her up. That's you, Scorpio, messy, bold, unstoppable. What's your pottery? What's that leap you've been circling? Do it today. I'm here, cheering like a fool, building your tribe. You're magnetic, Scorpio, you know that, right? People orbit you, drawn to that quiet power, that depth that says, I've seen things. Use it, share your story, drop it in the comments below. What hit you hardest here? What's stirring in your gut? Or grab a friend over tea, a neighbor over the fence, and say, "Listen to this." Your voice isn't just yours, it's a beacon. I've seen it happen, one Scorpio in a Glasgow pub, spinning a tale of how she turned redundancy into a baking hustle. And suddenly 3 others are swapping ideas, laughing, planning. That's your legacy, lifting others as you rise. Don't stop there. Join something, a book club in Barcelona, a walking group in Boston, an online thread where Scorpios like us trade war stories and wins. You're not just building a tribe, you're forging a family. I'll never forget Anna from part 2. How her gardening club became her lifeline. One seed, one chat, and she's got roots deeper than she dreamed. Where's your tribe hiding? Go find them. Tell them Sophia sent you. They'll know it's code for, "This one's a keeper." And here's a challenge. Share this article with another Scorpio who needs it. A text, an email, a nudge. Read this. It's us. Watch their eyes light up when they see themselves in these words. That's your power. Scorpio, spreading the fire. Who's that person in your life? Tag them below if you dare. I'd love to meet them through you. Your legacy in motion. At 50 to 70, the world might see you as settled. But we know better. You're not settling, you're soaring. Every step you take now, every coin saved, every bond rebuilt, every quiet victory, builds something eternal. Picture it. A year from now, you're standing taller, maybe in that Tuscan villa or on that Rocky Mountain trail, looking back at this moment and thinking, that's when it clicked. That's your Scorpio legacy, not just surviving, but thriving, inspiring, rewriting the rules of what these years can be. So, let's dream big. What's one mark you want to leave? A story for your grandkids? A passion that outlives you? A friend who says, "You changed me." Lay it out, I'm listening. This isn't the end, Scorpio, it's the beginning of your legend. You're not just a star in the sky, you're the whole damn constellation. The secret unveiled. And here we are, my Scorpio darlings, Sophia from Zodiac Wisdom, sitting with you one last time. As the embers of this journey settle into a warm, steady glow, imagine us now, maybe under a twilight sky in Rome, the Colosseum looming like a silent witness, or on a quiet bench in Montreal, snow dusting our shoulders. We've walked this path together, unearthing your soul, crafting solutions, igniting your legacy. Now, as the stars wink above, it's time to unveil the secret that's been threading through every word, every heartbeat of this adventure. Ready? Lean in close, it's about to change everything. The secret, Scorpio, is you. Yes, you, the fierce, unshakable force staring back from the mirror, etched with the wisdom of 50 to 70 years. You thought it might be some cosmic trick or hidden formula, but it's simpler and deeper than that. It's your Scorpio strength, decisive as a thunderclap, patient as a river carving stone, adaptable as the wind bending a tree. At this age, you're not winding down, you're winding up, stepping into a power the world can't dim. Those challenges, the pension that pinches, the relationships that wobble, the dreams you've shelved, they're not your cage, they're your canvas. And you? You're the artist, the warrior, the phoenix rising with every brushstroke. Feel that, Scorpio, let it sink in. You're not here to fade into the background of Berlin's gray winters or Oregon's misty rains. You're here to burn bright, whether it's securing your finances with that steely resolve, mending a heartstring with your quiet depth, or rediscovering joy in a way that makes your soul sing. I see you standing there, maybe in a Paris cafe or a Texas diner, shoulders squared, eyes sharp, whispering, "I've got this." And you do. You've faced darker nights than these and come out blazing, haven't you? Nod if that's true. I know it is. Thank you for letting me walk beside you. My friend, you're a Scorpio warrior, a constellation of courage, and I'm honored to be your guide, your cheerleader, your starry-eyed sister. This isn't goodbye, it's a beginning. Drop a comment below. What hit you hardest? What's sparking in your chest right now? Share this with another Scorpio who needs a nudge, a spark, a mirror to their own magic. Together, we're rewriting the stars, one bold, beautiful step at a time. So, go out there, Scorpio, take that leap we talked about, call it your Florence, your Lisbon, your quiet victory. The secret's out, you're the power, the promise, the legacy. At 50 to 70, The world's not ready for what you've got left to give. Prove it. I'll be watching, grinning, knowing you're unstoppable.